Coming to the seventh paper for today's technical session 2, the topic is strengthening Pakistan industrial power quality framework based on regulatory gaps, equipment immunity, and a roadmap for sustainable reform. I would like to invite Ms. Waiza Siddiqui. She is Deputy Manager Network Capacity and Planning at KE. To introduce, she is an electrical engineer and a power system professional, currently serving as Deputy Manager Network Capacity Planning at KE. She has a strong foundation in power system analysis. She plays a key role in technical planning and reliability enhancement initiatives, particularly in PQ, that is Power Quality Assessment and Monitoring for industrial customers. Over the years, she has contributed to a structured PQ studies, deployment of advanced analyzers such as the Fluke 1777 and iMeter D7, and data-driven solutions to improve network performance and customer experience. Her work spans cross-functional coordination, system studies, and process optimization to support distribution network resilience and operational excellence. Over to you, Faiza. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. The session is going to be about strengthening Pakistan's industrial power quality framework, focusing on regulatory gaps, equipment immunity, and a roadmap for sustainable reform. Before we dive deeper, let me just briefly walk you through what we are expecting ahead. At first, we'll be taking an overview of Pakistan's industrial landscape, and then we will be talking about the reliability quality disconnect. Then we'll be relating it to the evidence from field observations and some global best practices, and finally to the roadmap for power quality reform, followed by strategic direction. To understand the problem statement in a better way, we are going to play this video, which is it's a clear, simple video, and it will be helping you help you to understand the problem statement in a better way. It's not working. It's not working. This is the video that needs to be played.
Check for the video chalni.
This is not.
Perfect. Kareem was running his whole factory in what's called island mode.
शुरू से चला दें इसे please.
All right, let's get into this. It's a fascinating industrial mystery, really. It's all about a factory that had all the power it could ever need, running around the clock, but everything was falling apart. The power was definitely there, but something really important was missing.
So, our story kicks off with an industrialist, a guy named Kareem. Now, Kareem built his factory from the ground up, and he did it by the book. I mean, he followed every single guideline from the original equipment manufacturers. Every wire, every machine, it was all installed with absolute precision. On paper, this was a perfect system.
And you know what? For years, it was perfect. Kareem was running his whole factory in what's called island mode. Basically, he was using his own private gas-based power generators. This created this bubble of pristine electrical energy. The voltage was totally clean, the frequency was rock solid, and his production lines just hummed along without a single hiccup. It was literally an island of perfect stability.
But then, reality came knocking. Gas prices started to climb, and then they just skyrocketed. Suddenly, running his own private power plant was becoming incredibly expensive. So to save the business, Kareem made what seemed like a completely logical decision. He'd switch over to the public utility grid. It's reliable, it's always on, and it's way cheaper. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? So, the switch was made. And in that single moment, absolutely everything changed. Almost immediately, it was just chaos on the factory floor. Machines started tripping for no reason at all. Sophisticated drives were just spitting out error codes. And the brains of the whole operation, the PLCs or programmable logic controllers, they'd just spontaneously restart. Production just ground to a halt, over and over again. And this is where the huge paradox comes in. Kareem gets on the phone with the utility company, and they're insisting everything is fine on their end. And on paper, it looked great. The power supply was continuous, the voltage was well within the legal limits, the frequency was stable. But back at the factory, it was a complete and utter collapse. This led to the one question that just baffled everyone. You could just imagine Kareem thinking, if the power is there, why on earth are my machines failing? There were no blackouts, no outages, just this constant mystifying failure. So they launched an investigation, and what they found was this sort of hidden truth. The problem was never about a lack of power. Not at all. It was about the nature of that power. The answer wasn't in something that was missing, but in the real-world grit and variability that his perfect little island never had. The lead engineer, he explained it with this fantastic analogy. He said, look, think of the factory like a high-performance race car that was designed and tested only on a perfectly smooth test track. On that track, it's flawless. But the utility grid, that's not a test track, that's a real road, with all the bumps, dips, and surprises that come with it. And right there, that's the aha moment. It perfectly explains the whole problem. Kareem's machines, as amazing as they were engineered for the perfect smooth-as-glass conditions of his own captive power. They were never designed to handle the normal, tiny imperfections of a real-world electrical grid. Now you might be thinking, well, why doesn't this happen in my house? Great question. Think about a modern inverter air conditioner. It uses really similar sensitive electronics, but it runs just fine on that very same utility grid. And the reason is simple. It was designed from day one to handle the bumps and dips of that real road. It was built for reality. This brings us to a really critical engineering concept, system immunity. So what is that? Well, it's just the ability of a device to keep working properly even when its power supply isn't perfect. It's like having shock absorbers for your electronics. And that is exactly what Kareem's multi-million-dollar system was missing. So whose fault was it? Well, the investigation showed it wasn't just one thing. It was this systemic gap. You had the equipment manufacturers, the OEMs, who were optimizing for cost instead of toughness. You had Kareem, the user, who was just relying on their guidance without having the full technical picture. And then you had regulators with kind of weak standards. See, each one played a part in creating this hole that Kareem's factory fell right into. This gap resulted in some really critical design flaws. The protection systems were all tuned for that old, perfect power source. Nobody had ever tested the equipment against real grid behavior. And here's the big one. The machines had no ride-through capability. They couldn't handle those tiny split-second voltage dips, we call them sags, that are totally normal on a big power grid.
Now, the good news is this problem was solvable. It wasn't the end of the line. First, they analyzed the real-world conditions of the grid. Then they put in place targeted engineering upgrades. And finally, they adopted resilient design practices for the future. And just like that, the factory came back to life. Stability returned.
So the most important takeaway here is this. The solution was never about getting more power or a better grid. The grid was actually fine. The solution was better design. A design philosophy that expects and prepares for the messiness of the real world.
This entire story really boils down to one powerful idea. Any system, I don't care how complex it is, can work on a perfect supply. That's the easy part. But true, robust engineering design, that lies in anticipating real-world conditions and building in the strength to handle them.
So, what's the ultimate lesson from all of Kareem's trouble? It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly profound, and it applies to way more than just factories. Don't just design for the ideal scenario. Design for reality, not for perfection. All right, let's get in.
What we just saw is not an exception. After this video, what we all have in common is the belief that reliability alone is not going to ensure the usability of power. If we consider the tip of an iceberg and think of it as in something that we see, we evaluate, and we plan projects for in engineering sector. However, what is usually missed is the underlying depth. What is usually reported is the names as sags, swells, flicker, and harmonics. Why does this happen? This happens because traditional performance matrices cover the power availability. They never cover the momentary disturbances. Let's keep in mind the word right through for now. We'll be fitting this in later. Okay, why are we standing where we are standing right now? Because that's what we prepared for. Let's think of the recipe of failure. What were the main ingredients? Self-procurement is one of them. Industrialists focus on self-procurement. The contractual requirement of right-through is never set between OEM and industrialists, which leaves the gap of right-through capability. The second thing is what we cannot measure, we cannot analyze. Power quality measurement requirements are never acquired from the system operators. Hence, they never know what they are going to be connected to. Third, there is no concept of understanding the harmony between source and load. Power quality is never about the perfection of source. It's about compatibility between source and load. Moving on, since we were talking about self-procurement, I want you to look at this picture and think of the saying, a chain is as strong as its weakest link, and let that sink in. When something is not specified, it is not provided. Often, system right-through capability is missed in the term of cutting costs. When it's cut, it is never incorporated into the system. Hence, it is going to trip when any transient disturbances occur in public interconnected network. That's what utility is. Well, this equipment level gap is reflected on the system level when we go through the entire system. We look at the electromagnetic compatibility mismatch. What happens is, let's talk about Pakistan, Karachi. Karachi is a geographically distributed area and it's really diverse. And we have never planned any dedicated industrial networks. No industrial parks were planned beforehand. Hence, industries are scattered overall citywide. Due to this, all the problems that arise are based on the geographical spread. Hence, currently, if there is lack of immunity in the system, in the equipment, it is going to trip even on low fluctuations areas to high fluctuations areas. This takes us to our first pillar, mandating right-through capability. What we are looking at in the graph is SEMI F47, the voltage sag right-through immunity curve. This curve plots the voltage sag events. The curve that you are seeing right now is a global utility curve that has its events mapped on it. It has regions defined of, the purple region shows the normal operating region, and then there are areas defined where equipment might malfunction, and then there are some areas that are undefined in SEMI F47. However, if we keep in mind that whenever we procure equipment, we make sure to procure SEMI F47 compliant equipment, then we are never going to trip on transient disturbances from grid or interconnected network. When we have standardized the SEMI F47, the second pillar is ensuring we get the monitoring right. As of now, we have SEFI and SEDI. SEFI and SEDI ensure the availability of power. SERFI ensures the quality of power. It is the power performance evaluation criteria which tells how deep the sag goes and how we can improve it year-on-year basis. So, if we talk about the improvement cycle, it is going to be a shared responsibility. At first, regulator should ensure that it should standardize the standard immunity standards and power quality assessment indices. Utility should ensure that industries are provided supply from cleaner buses, and industries should propagate the idea of equipment immunity and reliability. That's it. Thank you.
जी
Go on.
जी मैडम,
Okay.
it was a wonderful presentation, लेकिन it seems like you were giving the utility perspective. Let me first complete myself. अच्छा, आपने जो स्टोरी टेलिंग बहुत ज़बरदस्त की है, लेकिन वो स्टोरी टेलिंग जो आपने की है ना, वो इस तरह से की है कि इंडस्ट्री अपनी जो उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है पूरी नहीं कर रही है, वो सारा मलबा उन पर डाल दिया. ठीक है, एक तो ये बात. दूसरा ये है कि इक्विपमेंट इम्यूनिटी का आपने सेमाई F47 कहा, वो कोई ऐसी बाइंडिंग या कोड में, हमारे नेपरा ने भी उसको कहा कि आप इसको करें, हमारे इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड भी नहीं कहते कि आपको करना ही करना है. एक टेक्सटाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर अपनी लूम्स लगाएगा, सेमाई F47 पर लगाएगा, वो तो इससे अच्छा है वो फैक्ट्री ना लगाए. ठीक है, तो इसलिए ये जो सोल्यूशन आप यू आर राइटली पॉइंटिंग इट आउट कि एक शेयर्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, लेकिन शेयर्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का कोई ना कोई आप उसको एक बैलेंस बात करेंगे ना. इट सीम्स लाइक दैट यू आर एक्चुअली पुशिंग द यूटिलिटी नैरेटिव दैट इज ऑलरेडी गोइंग ऑन इन द नेपरा हियरिंग्स राइट नाउ. प्लीज इफ यू वुड लाइक टू रिस्पॉन्ड.
अच्छा, एट फर्स्ट मैं आपकी वाली जो पिक्चर है कि यूटिलिटी की पर्सपेक्टिव से, मैंने शायद आपको ये ऐसा फील हुआ कि मैंने यूटिलिटी के पर्सपेक्टिव से पिक्चर ड्रॉ करी है, तो मैं उसको आंसर करूँगी कि बाय द एंड ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन मैंने इस चीज़ को भी इन्फोर्स किया है कि ये तीनों की शेयर्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. हाउएवर, अगर एक इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट ने स्टार्टिंग के अंदर अपनी कॉस्ट कटिंग की है और अपने पास ऐसा इक्विपमेंट उसने इक्विप किया जो कि नहीं था, इस केपेबल नहीं था कि उसको आप पब्लिक इंटरकनेक्टेड नेटवर्क के साथ चलाएं, तो ही इज़ गोइंग टू इवेंचुअली पे फॉर द कॉस्ट्स, जो कि वो बाद में सॉल्यूशंस के केस में डिप्लॉय कर रहा है अपने पास. इट्स अबाउट अवेयरनेस.
जी, इसमें मैं थोड़ा सा, सॉरी टू कट यू आउट, आपका ये पॉइंट ठीक है, प्रिंसिपली ठीक है, लेकिन आप कह रहे हैं कि वो पब्लिक यूटिलिटी के लिए कंपैटिबल नहीं है. पब्लिक यूटिलिटी किसको फॉलो करेगी? उसका कोई ना कोई स्टैंडर्ड तो होगा ना. अगर वो स्टैंडर्ड को फॉलो करते हुए अगर पब्लिक यूटिलिटी के अपने ही उसके जो क्वालिटी के स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं उसको मैच नहीं करते, फिर तो इंडस्ट्री इज राइटली कॉलिंग यू आउट कि नहीं. एक बात सुनिएगा ना, दूसरा ये कि आप सेमाई F47 की कंप्लायंस कह रहे हैं कि ये दिस इज़ द इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडर्ड. ये मुझे अभी तक ऐसा, मतलब मैंने अभी तक शायद नहीं अपने जर्नी में देखा कि ये ज़रूरी हो और इसके बगैर आपकी इंडस्ट्री आप लगाएंगे तो यू आर बेसिकली डिज़ाइनिंग अ रॉन्ग सिस्टम. क्योंकि हमारे बहुत सारे सीनियर कंसल्टेंट्स भी हैं, ये दे नेवर हैव एवर दे प्रेस्क्राइब सच इक्विपमेंट.
सेमाई F47 एक ऐसा इम्यूनिटी कर्व है जो कि बेसिकली ये डिफाइन कर देता है कि इक्विपमेंट को कब कब ट्रिप नहीं होना है, इवन इफ देयर इज़ अ ट्रांजिएंट डिस्टर्बेंस ऑन यूटिलिटी एंड. और जब मैं सेमाई F47 की बात कर रही हूँ तो मैंने कुछ इंडस्ट्रीज़ के अंदर सेमाई F47 कंप्लायंट डिवाइसेस देखी हैं और वो ट्रिप नहीं करती थी. मतलब उसके ऊपर भले मेरे पास ग्रिड में बस के ऊपर कॉमन नोड पे फॉल्ट आ भी जाए तब भी वो इंटरप्ट नहीं हो रहा. दैट इज़ द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट.
हाँ, लेकिन मैम देखिए वो इंडस्ट्री टाइप पर डिपेंड करता है ना. देखिए मेरी बात सुनिएगा, देखिए मुख्तलिफ इंडस्ट्री टाइप्स हैं. अगर आप सेमी कंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री की बात कर रही हैं, यू आर राइटली पॉइंटिंग इट आउट, और स्टैंडर्ड भी उसी को फॉलो करता है. अभी रिसेंटली एक रिनॉन्ड कस्टमर है, उन्होंने इंगेज हमें किया था और वहाँ पर भी इलेक्ट्रिक की तरफ से यही प्रेस्क्राइब किया गया था कि आप राइट थ्रू कर दें, आप जाने दें फॉल्ट्स को. उन्होंने करवा दी सेटिंग्स और उसके बाद फिर उनके आगे इक्विपमेंट में इश्यूज आने लग गए. अब वो अगर इक्विपमेंट वो सारा रिप्लेस करें एज पर योर स्टैंडर्ड्स, तो उनके जो फाइनेंशियल मॉडलिंग है वो सारी. आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड माई कमेंट्स एंड यू कैन प्लीज नाउ हैव योर फाइनल रिमार्क्स.
देखिए, मैंने स्टार्टिंग में इस वजह से इस वाली चीज़ को एम्फेसाइज़ किया था कि जब आप सिस्टम इंस्टॉल कर रहे हैं तब आपको इंश्योर करना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज़ द क्वालिटी ऑफ सप्लाई दैट यू आर गेटिंग. हमारे पास डेडिकेटेड इंडस्ट्रियल पार्क्स पहले नहीं लगे थे, इंडस्ट्रीज़ स्कैटर्ड लग गई थी, और फिर उसके बाद हम लोगों ने ये नॉइज़ आना शुरू हुई जब सबने यूटिलिटी से पावर कंज्यूम करना शुरू करी, तो ये नॉइज़ आना शुरू हुई कि क्वालिटी ऑफ सप्लाई इज़ नॉट अप टू द पार, जिसकी वजह से ये नॉइज़ है. द टाइप ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज दैट यू आर टॉकिंग, चाहे टेक्सटाइल हो चाहे कोई सा भी दूसरा बिजनेस हो, मेरे पास अक्सर इस तरह की भी कंप्लेंट्स आई हैं कि सर्टेन एरिया वर्क्स फाइन, हाउएवर दूसरे एरिया में फेलियर है, और वहाँ पे ये डिफरेंस بالکل کلیئرلی میں ڈیمارکیٹ کر کے ان کو ڈرا کر کے دے دیتی ہوں. ان کی جو ڈیوائسز MIF47 کمپلائنٹ ہیں, جو کہ IEC 61000 4-30 کلاس 3 کی بھی کمپلائنس کو دکھاتا ہے, وہ نہیں انٹرپٹ کرتی. ہاؤیور نان MIF47 والی جو ہیں وہ کرتی ہیں انٹرپٹ, وہ چیپر ہوتی ہیں. تو دس از دا ڈفرنس دیٹ آئی ڈو اونلی. جہاں تک بات رہی یوٹیلیٹی کی اور ریگولیٹری کی, ریگولیٹر مجھے باؤنڈ کر رہا ہے کہ میں اپنے پاس +-5% ان اسٹڈی اسٹیٹ کو کمپلائی کروں. میں اسی کی بیسس کے اوپر انویسٹمنٹ بھی لے رہی ہوں. میرے پاس پاور کوالٹی کی بیسس کے اوپر انویسٹمنٹ میں لے نہیں سکتی, کیونکہ اس کے اوپر مجھے نیپرا نے بائنڈ نہیں کیا ہوا. دس از دا ریزن کہ پاور کوالٹی انڈر دا آئس برگ جا رہا تھا. تو دیٹ آنسرز یور کویشچن آئی گیس. جی یا آئی ایم انوالوڈ ان دیٹ.
عرفان صاحب.
جی
ہاں جی عرفان صاحب.
جی میڈم, میرا خیال ہے میں آپ کو سپورٹ کروں گا کہ کچھ اویئرنیس ہمارے یہاں کم ہے انڈسٹری میں بھی, اور لوگ عام طور پہ نارمل آپریشن کے حساب سے اپنا سسٹم ڈیزائن کرتے ہیں, فالٹ کے بیسس پہ نہیں کرتے. تو کرتے ہیں, بہت سے لوگ کرتے ہیں, لیکن میں ایگزامپل بھی دے سکتا ہوں جہاں نہیں ہوتا, اور یوٹیلیٹی کے بھی ایگزامپلس دے دیتے ہیں کہ وہ اسٹینڈرڈس کو فالو نہیں کرتے. تو یہ آپ کا اچھا تھا اویئرنیس کے لیے کہ بھئی اس کو ایسے ہونا چاہیے.
تھینک یو.
تھینک یو.
یہ سبجیکٹ ایسا ہے کہ اس پر بات کی بغیر رہا نہیں جا سکتا. دیکھیں, اس سے پہلے جو ایک وہ پریزنٹیشن ہوئی تھی کہ بڑے دیر تک جو تھی وہ انڈسٹری ٹھیک چلتی رہی جب تک کہ وہ اپنی کیپٹیو جنریشن کے اوپر آپریٹ کر رہے تھے. there were no problems. Everything was robust and sound. The moment things were changed to the utility power, problems started. اچھا, آج سے 4 سال پہلے ایسا ہوا تھا کہ کے الیکٹرک نے ایک پروگرام بنایا اور 30 انڈسٹریل یونٹس process related mostly, which were badly suffering because of the power quality. وہاں پہ کہ الیکٹرک نے اپنے خرچے کے اوپر تقریباً 1 مہینے تک ہائی لیول میجرمنٹس کیے اور سارا کچھ کیا. I was also a consultant with one of the clients. رزلٹ کیا نکلا؟ 1 مہینے کی اس لمبی چوڑی ایکسرسائز کے بعد کے الیکٹرک نے ڈکلیئر کر دیا کہ جی ہمارا سسٹم تو بالکل ٹھیک ہے, کوئی پرابلم نہیں ہے, پرابلم آپ کے سسٹم کے ساتھ. Now exactly the same thing was happening, that for a very very long time before getting 4.8 megawatt electric connection from K Electric, that industrial unit was operating wonderfully at its captive generation. So definitely there were some problems with the power quality which disturbed their VFDs, and VFDs were set to a level beyond which the OEM didn't allow, and everything was then just closed کہ کچھ بھی نہیں ہو سکتا, نہ کہ الیکٹرک کچھ کر سکتی ہے, انڈسٹری کو تو کچھ کر ہی نہیں سکتی. So I think I feel that still there is that gap which somehow needs to be filled, and somebody has to really take responsibility, look into it more deeply, more with a business-like attitude, rather than shifting the blame from one side to the other. اس سائٹ میں کچھ کام کرنے کی سیریسلی ضرورت ہے. تھینک یو.
Thank you sir for your advice, and thank you ma'am for question.
تھوڑا سا میں کامنٹ کرنا چاہوں گا, تو شاید آپ جواب دینا چاہیں دیں, لیکن اس میں سوال کوئی اتنا زیادہ نہیں ہے. اٹس جسٹ این ایکسپیرئنس وچ آئی لائک ٹو شیئر. اٹ واز سم تھنگ 1995 یا 94 کی بات ہوگی, وین ICI decided to set up a chemical plant at Port Qasim, جو آج کل لوٹے کیمیکل کے نام سے جانا جاتا ہے. تو انہوں نے جو بھی اسٹڈی کروائی اس میں ایک آپشن تھا کہ جی اپنا پاور پلانٹ لگایا جائے, دوسرا آپشن تھا کہ جی اٹس اے ہیوی لوڈ 25 میگا واٹ کے قریب رننگ لوڈ ہے, تو ہم جو ہے یوٹیلیٹی سے پاور لے لیں. यूटिलिटी वो उसके लिए फिर एक कंसल्टेंट हायर किया गया, उसने कहा कि जी आप यूटिलिटी से पावर ले लें और आप 220 kV पे ले लें और आप जो केई का पावर हाउस है वो करीबी है, लूप इन लूप आउट होगा, तो उसकी वजह से आपको जो है कोई डिस्टर्बेंसेस या ब्रेकडाउन्स या वो नहीं मिलेंगी। तो ये कंसल्टेंट की रिपोर्ट है कि मैक्सिमम जो है आपको कोई साल में 2 डिप्स के करीब यू कैन एक्सपीरियंस मैक्सिमम ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ इंटरप्शन के सिर्फ वोल्टेज डिप आएगी 2। जब वो प्लांट लग गया और चलना शुरू हुआ तो वो कोई 5-6 दफ़ा जो है इन वोल्टेज डिप्स पे ट्रिप होता रहा। अब वो सारा जो भी आप किसको इल्ज़ाम देंगे, क्योंकि डाटा ही नहीं होगा या शायद कई का कोई डाटा नहीं था, एक कंसल्टेंट के पास नहीं था, लेकिन जो इंडस्ट्री इन्वेस्टमेंट करने वाला था वो उसकी तो विल थी कि जी मैं ऐसा कोई सोल्यूशन लगाऊं जो कि मुझे रिलायबल और कंसिस्टेंट ऑपरेशन दे सके। जी थैंक यू।
थैंक यू
रियाज जावेद ये मेरे पुराने शागिर्द हैं। जावेद आप पता नहीं किस कंसल्टेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, आई एम नॉट अवेयर ऑफ दैट। मैंने भी मेरे पास भी मुझे भी इत्तेफाक हुआ इस पे काम करने का when Lotte Chemical was being established, and I had in my report very clearly stated that for God's sake, if you want to have reliable operation, then you do have your captive power plant. Don't depend on KLF. This was my very clearly written report.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vaisa. Thank you for your insight. Great work. Thank you. Now,